How are you doing? Hey, Chris, how are you? Can you hear me all right?
Searching for music for your next video? Then you need to check out Artlist. With amazing new music added daily and one... Searching for music...
Good. This is the first time I've really done a live stream like this, but my webcam does not work, so I was trying to figure out a way to do it where it'll work okay. I tried it with StreamYard once, and I was able to stream with just having my camera off and using the microphone, but the last time I tried to do it, the microphone didn't want to turn on either, and I was like, are you kidding? So I was like, I need to be able to stream somehow. So for now, this is the way it's going to have to be. But I kind of like it a little bit. Something to look at, other than myself. Hey, cup of tea. Hello, how are you? I'm doing good. I've got the day off today. That's always good. Always good to have the day off. I've got some things I gotta do today, but I wanted to at least get a stream in. But I wanted to wait until somebody that I usually frequent when she streams, I wanted to make sure that she finished first. Thank you. I appreciate it. I love the picture that I put up. The only thing I don't like about it is the goldfish in the bowl. That's a big no-no. Public service announcement. Fish in a bowl is a very bad thing. I own just about every animal in that picture except for the chameleon, and I do have birds, but not that kind. I have rats, mice, dogs, cats, birds, bunnies, fish. I just don't have a chameleon. So what is everybody up to today? I wanted to try out this streaming this way since my camera doesn't work. One day soon I will get an external webcam and see if that makes a difference. But in the meantime, I'll work with what I can work with. Eating some pasta with vegan sausage. I've never tried vegan sausage, but I am also a meat eater. But because I'm an animal lover, I wouldn't be a meat eater if I had to kill my own animals. If I had to slaughter my own meat, I wouldn't be able to eat meat because I wouldn't be able to kill it. Love my animals. one of my hermit crabs is doing funky things. I don't know if he's doing very well. He's been buried in the substrate for weeks, and I finally saw him yesterday. And I don't know if he molted when he was buried. Usually that's what they do when they're buried for that length of time. But now, this morning, he actually came out of his shell, and he hasn't moved into another one. So he looks real funky, and he's like burying himself. But he is not going into another shell, and they'll die without another shell. So I don't know if maybe he's dying. I don't know. He's real small. I don't know if he is just having an issue. But he is currently naked and just trying to bury himself in the substrate. So I don't know what he's doing. Oh, I've got a lot. At this point, I can't even tell you how many mice I have. I do breed them, and there's some babies, and then there's the parents and the other ones, and I do sell them for feeders, which is really tough for me to do, especially because I am an animal lover. I try but I also know that people have snakes and they need to eat, so that's what I'm providing. I just can't, I have to put it out of my head what's happening to my little babies once I give them to somebody. But I have 2 dogs, a cat, a bunny. We have 5 fish tanks. I do have a pet mouse, and then I have the mice that are breeders. I have 2 birds. One is just a finch, and I'll be getting him a friend. He is injured. He can't fly. And then I have a Quaker parrot. I have 4 hermit crabs. I have a Pac-Man frog. And we have 14 rats. Hey, MD, how are you doing? Love my animal babies. Can't remember how many mice, because every week I'm selling one, so I kind of lose track. But none of them have names except for my actual pet mouse. His name is Stanley. Oh, and I have a hairless hamster, too. Yeah, my husband says no more. Mainly because we're running out of space. No more pets. Just on a break at work? Well, I'm glad that you came here. Although I am looking to get another bunny, only because bunnies are social, and I did have 2, and at the end of August, one of my bunnies passed away. So now the other one is alone, and I feel like I can't just leave her alone. It's been long enough that she's been alone. So I would like to get her another friend. That at least isn't going to take up any more space. She's in the same space that they were both in, but I don't want her to be lonely. And then, of course, there is a hamster I have my eye on, but I don't have a proper size enclosure right now for a hamster. The only way I would have a proper size enclosure is if I stop breeding the mice, because then I can use the big enclosure for that for the hamster, for the other hamster. So I'm debating, because right now I'm putting more work into taking care of these mice than what I'm selling. I basically sell 1 mouse a week, and each mouse I'm only selling for $2. So is it really worth it to put all this work into these mice to only sell one every week for $2, you know? So it's been a really awesome experience. I've seen a couple of my mice actually give birth. Most of the time I would wake up in the morning to them having already had their babies, but I have caught it in the act, and it is really, really cool. And then watching them grow up is really super cool. So it was a great experience, but I don't know if it's worth keeping on. Smart Needle Crafts, hello, how are you? Welcome, welcome. Hey, Carolyn. Nice to see you. So I'm debating if I want to continue with it, or just let it go. Although then my friend, who's been getting a mouse from me every week, is going to have to find another source. So I don't know what I want to do. Oh, thank you. I love my goldfish. My telescope eye goldfish, the calico, his name is Dorito, and he has like doubled in size since I got him. He's my favorite in there. I mean, I love them all three, but he's my favorite one. And he's grown so big, and they're going to get bigger so long as they continue to do well. I love them. Not a lot of people like goldfish anymore. They go for the fancier fish, but goldfish, yes, they're dirty fish. They're dirtier than a lot of other fish. There's my bird. All right, thank you. But you keep up on the fish tank and give them the proper size, and it doesn't get as dirty. The bigger the tank, the less dirty it is in a short time. Yes, they will get bigger. Goldfish, people will get small little tanks or bowls for goldfish, not realizing they will outgrow it. My bird that is making all that ruckus right now, that is Remy. R-E-M-I, and he gets jealous of me talking to people other than himself. So if he hears me talking and it's not to him, he starts getting loud. I hear you! What are you doing? Yeah, there's my cat. What is this? Everyone's trying to take over. Yes, hello. Hello. What do you want? Huh? See, now that I've talked to the bird, he's quieter. He's just jealous. Everybody's jealous. Remy is 8 months old, and they have a 20 to 25 year lifespan. So he's got a lot of years to learn stuff. He already says a few things, but he does it on his own terms. Got the cat sitting right on the table next to my laptop. The dog sitting on the couch beside me. The bird shouting in the background. It makes it really hard for me to record videos. My quiet time videos, like my devotionals and stuff like that. I just can't win. I try and record when nobody is home so I don't have that background noise with people talking and everything like that, but then I usually have some animal making a noise in my video. Can't get away from it. Can't believe it's Thursday already, you guys. Like, the weeks fly by. And it's like the end of January already. What happened? Where did January go? Oh my gosh, at work. Oh, no, no. The dog heard a door outside. You're not going to bark. No. No barking. Imagine you heard nothing. No, don't bark. Come here. We got 2 little cute dogs at work. I work at a pet store. And, aw, Simon and Schuster? Is it Schuster or Schuster? 2 cute little, they're siblings. They're Yoshans, and I'd never heard of a Yoshan before. But apparently a Yoshan is a Yorkie Bichon, and oh my goodness, they are the cutest little things. They're tiny little squirts. Oh, your dog passed. I have lost so many animals. Since I have so many animals, I've lost so many animals in the last year. I lost a rat. I lost a cat. I lost a bunny. I lost a guinea pig. Yeah, loss is hard. It's hard. But these little puppies, oh my gosh. I swear they weigh about as much as my guinea pig did. And my guinea pig was 2 pounds. And full grown, their parents were only 8 and 10 pounds. So they're going to remain small. And oh my gosh, they're just adorable. They're like, I fell in love. One's a little girl and one's a little boy. Their names are Gabby and Mason. And oh my gosh, I just love them. I'll stuff them in my pockets. You're ready for a new dog. And see, you could never replace the animal that passed. But there's always room for an animal lover, there's always room in your heart for another animal without replacing who you lost. That's what I think anyway. I've never forgotten, in 2014, I lost a cat. He was 14. Almost 2 years ago, April will be 2 years that I lost another cat, and she was also 14. And I actually have my 3 cats that I've lost from 2014 until just a couple months ago. They are buried in my backyard, along with my bunny. They are buried in my backyard. Oh my gosh, you don't even want to know, because it's a pet store. You don't even want to know how much they are. They are expensive. And I would love to see them go together because they are siblings, and they, when one of them got out to play, the other one was crying because she was alone. You're close. You're close. They are $2,200 each. So the chances of them going together, there's going to have to be somebody with a big heart. Hello? A big heart and a big wallet. Hey, I hear you. Yes. Shush. But they are super, super cute. Like, oh my gosh. All right, MD, thanks for stopping in. Have a great day at work. It was good to see you. So, Smart Needle Crafts, do you do embroidery or cross stitch or both, or just like sewing? Or I'm not good with, I can't sew. I can't sew by hand very well, and sewing machines get away from me. I don't even know how to thread them. And then I feel like the needle gets away from me because it goes so fast. So I am not a good sewer. I like cross stitch, but I get frustrated if I get a nice big one. If I get a nice big cross stitch, then I feel like I make more mistakes and I get frustrated, and I've never really finished a big one. And small ones, I could do a small one and then I'm like, oh, now I'm done already. Cross stitch and crochet. Cool. I crochet. I love to crochet. I haven't crocheted in a while though. I've got so much yarn, but not enough of one color to do a project. So I'd have to use my scraps for something. And I never seem to have, hello! Hey! I never seem to have enough money to get more yarn because I'm always spending it on my animals. Jay's Better Room, hello, how are you? Jules Freedom, hey! Good to see you, good to see you. Hey! Get your own live stream, Remy. Get your own. Thank you. Jeepers. Hello, I hear you. What are you doing? I hear you. Goodness. I might have to actually put the dog up in the kennel and get him out so he'll shut up. You heading out, Needlecrafts? Have a great day. The cat staring me down too. So many animals. I have been sick, so I have missed. Oh, she was on for like a good 3 hours this morning too. Surgery tomorrow, so I hope to be back next week. Okay, surgery. Well, good luck with that. What are you having surgery for? I will keep you in my prayers. So many people have been sick. That's what I love, winter to some degree, or fall even, but then the temperature changes and everything, and then everybody starts getting sick. That's my least favorite part of that time of year, is when everybody gets sick. I used to dread when I would be really excited when the kids would have to go back to school, because then they wouldn't be in my hair all day long. But then I dreaded it at the same time because I knew they'd be starting to bring home a bunch of germs and getting sick. And oh, knee surgery. Yeah, she was on this morning, and she'll be on a little bit later today too. Do you think tonight that you might be able to pop in, or how are you feeling? I don't know if she's going to her other channel later today or not. I know she's doing pictures here in a little bit for a video or something. Oh, good, good. Hope to see you tonight. I still gotta dress up my pickle, and I have no idea what to do for it. I keep having ideas, and then I don't know how to execute them. I don't know what to do with my pickle for that pickle challenge she's doing. I don't know what to do to dress it up. I've had some ideas, but then I'm like, how am I going to do it? How am I going to actually do what I'm thinking of? And I'm not sure how. Hey, Kathleen! Kathleen heard the magic word, pickle. I don't know what to do with it. I've thought about it, and I get ideas, and then I'm like, okay, now how do I execute this? How do I get it done? And I'm not sure. I don't know. I have a musical tonight, so I will look for tonight. I'm working on my Memorex card. I got to do that, too. I got to work on my card. But I also have to go through a pile of bins because I had a room where I had my table, and it was basically my office. I could do my crocheting in there. I could do my crafts in there, and, stuff like that. And then my stepdaughter moved home, and I had to pack up all of my stuff so she can have the room. And everything has been stacked in bins, and I don't know what's in what. And I got to find my stuff because I've got an envelope maker that I can use for helping to make the card. I've got stamps. I've got ink. I've got, I've got embossing, like a heat gun. I've got like so much I can play around with. But it's all packed up in bins, and I don't know where anything is, so I have to go through them. And she's moved out now, so technically I could start moving my stuff back into the room, but there's a great possibility that my stepson is going to be moving back in for a little while, too, so then I'd just have to pack it all back up again. I'm like, I just want to go through my stuff, because right now in my living room it looks terrible because in the back corner of the room I've got like probably 8 Rubbermaid bins full of stuff just stacked in the corner because there's no place for them to go. Draw it out first, then execute. I'm not sure what to do with them. Not sure. Yep, all of my stuff is in boxes, and I was like, I need to make my Memorex card or my memory decks or however you say it. But I've got to find the stuff to do it and to decorate it up. But I don't know what bins, I don't know what's in what bin. So I'm going to have to go through it. Yes, I got a lot of stuff. Some of the stuff I could probably get rid of because at the time it was such a rush to pack up that I probably packed up stuff that I didn't even need. It was just easier to just throw things in. Hey, Husky Mom! How are you doing? So I'm sure there's stuff, but it's like a few different ventures I had in, I've got my scrapbooking stuff, I've got yarn stuff, I've got stamping stuff. I even, for a while, I was doing oysters and opening oysters live on Facebook and pulling out the pearls. And so somewhere in those bins, I've got pearls. I don't have any more oysters, thank the Lord, or they'd be really smelly by now. But I've got loose pearls packed in there somewhere. I've got all sorts of stuff. I loved my pearls. I miss opening oysters. They were stinky, but it was fun. Getting nice real pearls. It's the first time I've ever owned real pearls, and I got them directly out of the oyster. Domino necklaces. Ooh. Yes, I gotta dress my dill pickle. It's a big deal. I gotta do it. I'm curious about these domino necklaces now. Domino necklace. I have dominoes. I think the 13th, right? The 13th is when it's due. Yes, it's a big deal. Yeah, I need to get that done, and then I'm really looking forward to starting the tomatoes. Meow. Yes, hello. Oh, I got a text from my husband says, is there a package outside for me? So let me look. I'm gonna look for a package. Maybe he got a notification that said it came, so let's look. Yes, there is. So I can tell him, yes, we got a box. Or he got a box. I don't know what it is. Alright. Tell him quick that he got a box. Alright. What? Let me see. Is anyone else buffering, or is it just Kathleen? Oh no, oh no. Yes, you need to do a tutorial video on how to make domino necklaces. That would be fun. Yeah, I'm not buffering either, so I guess it's just her internet. Well, phooey. Yeah, that would be fun. I've also got, like, upstairs in my bedroom in my my bedside drawer, I've got like Scrabble tiles that I had ordered. I actually got them on Wish. I got a bunch of Scrabble tiles, and I used some of them already. I made a name plaque for my bunnies. Each of them has a little name plaque. I went to the craft store and I got this little hanging plaque thing, and I used the Scrabble tiles to spell out their names. I've still got a bunch of unused Scrabble tiles that I could use for crafting. I'm just not very creative. Like, I have to be in a really creative mood, and even then I struggle. I always feel like I have to use someone else's idea and modify it for myself, because I have a hard time coming up with something on my own. I have, like, creator's block or something. I don't know. But I would, when I was scrapbooking or even making cards with my stamping stuff, I would sit down and I'd be like, now I don't know what to do. I don't know what to make. Hello? I hear you. I hear you. Shush. You're disruptive. I always struggle. I'll sit down and I see other people making cards, look really creative cards, and I'm like, they make it look so easy. And then I sit down and try and do it, and I can't think of what to do that's creative. I feel like mine are always boring. yeah, see, I want to learn both piano and guitar, but I don't have... Hello? Are you laughing at me? Huh? I don't have a lot of patience. But I have wanted to learn piano and guitar as well. Probably guitar first. Hi. Yes? The only totally accurate pet in that picture is my cat, because my cat is black. Oh, and the mice, I guess, because I have white mice, and we do have a rat that kind of looks like that, but she's got a white belly. I used to be able to play the flute. I played the flute in the 8th grade all the way through to graduating high school. And then I kind of just put it down and wasn't really doing much with it. And then when I was pregnant with my son, I sold my flute to a lady who had a daughter who was in the 8th grade, and she wanted to learn the flute and take that in school, so I sold it to her. And I betcha if I picked it up again, I would have no idea what I was doing. It's not like riding a bike, I don't think. I would have to learn it all over again. I got a decent amount of money actually from selling my flute because it was in really good condition for as old as it was. How many pets do I have? I couldn't even tell you a number right now. I've got 2 dogs, 1 cat, 1 bunny, a hamster, 2 birds, 4 hermit crabs, a Pac-Man frog, 5 fish tanks. Did I say fish tanks already? 5 fish tanks, 14 rats, and mice. I'm not even sure how many mice I have. I have 1 pet mouse, but then I have breeders that the number is always changing. So I've got a lot. Did I even forget anything? 5 fish tanks. I think I got everybody. And I have other animal wants, but they gotta wait. The nice thing is, aside from the dogs and the cat, everything else is caged. One of the birds comes out, because he's a social bird. He's a Quaker parrot. The rats come out to hang out every now and again, not all at the same time. But everything else is pretty much caged and doesn't need to come out. So the hermit crabs and the frog are more like observational pets, like fish. They're not social. They don't want to hang out with you and stuff like that. And they don't eat very much. The frog only eats every few days. The hermit crabs don't eat a lot. Food that I put, dry, pellet type food, that I put in their dish 3 weeks ago was still there because they don't eat very much. So they're super cheap to take care of. I think the most expensive part of a hermit crab for maintenance would be their shells. Once you have the heat lamp and the setup, the most expensive part is going to be their shells that they have to move into as they grow. Hey, Fo, how are you? Stopping in to say hi. Thank you. you. Oh, your hermit crab died. I have a feeling one of mine is getting ready to die because, well, he was buried for like the last month. I hadn't seen him at all, which, you know, that's a common thing for when they're molting. Well, he surfaced yesterday, and now right now, this morning, he crawled out of his shell, but he is not moving into another one, so I don't know what's going on with him. Yeah, they need humidity, hermit crabs. So I use Eco Earth. Hello, I hear you. I use Eco Earth for their substrate, and then you have to keep that damp and have the heat lamp, so that they have the humidity. They need the humidity to breathe. Okay, Kathleen. If it's a dry heat, they can suffocate. They need the humidity in the air. They have gills, so but they're not aquatic. They can drown in water that's too deep, but they need the humid air to breathe. But I have a feeling one of my hermit crabs is not doing well. He's a small little crab, but yeah, he crawled out of his shell this morning, and he's trying to bury himself naked without being in the other shell. I don't know why he's doing that. Yeah, it might have been too dry in the enclosure and not hot enough. I mean, it doesn't get hot. The heat lamp, it's not super hot, but the heat that it emits will keep, once you keep the substrate damp, it holds humidity better. Yes, my email is listed in my description. But I've got 3 other hermit crabs. 2 of them are really big. They're a really good size. They were surrendered. They were surrenders, so I brought them home, and then I had got a couple from work that were super small. And at work, they're not kept properly, technically, so that could be part of the reason why. Maybe he's not doing well because he wasn't taken care of well enough in the beginning, and maybe he's not totally healthy. I don't know. But one of them that I had got from work was in a shell that was too small for him, but the substrate wasn't deep enough, so they can't bury themselves to molt. They can't, whatever. So he was just in this tiny shell that he couldn't even pull himself all the way in. Within the hour of me bringing him home and putting him in my enclosure, he changed shells. Let's see. It should be under. It'll say in the description how to support this channel. I have merch, and then my email and Instagram. Yours died during the molting part. Did you, by chance, because you shouldn't clean out the enclosure or disturb them when they're molting if they're buried. Like, I still have one that's buried that I haven't seen in a while, and I can't, even if I was due to clean out the enclosure, to do a full clean, I would have to wait until he surfaced. You can't disturb a buried crab because it can kill them. So before I can do a full, like, stir up any of the substrate or whatever, I have to wait until he comes back up, because if I disturb him and he's trying to molt, it's very detrimental to them. I want to check on my one that's naked right now, because I don't know why he came out of the shell. And he's buried himself, so maybe, I don't know, I've never actually watched a crab molt, so maybe they have to come out of their shells to do that. Maybe that's why he came out of his shell. But he was on the surface when I saw him, so I was like, oh my gosh, he's naked. But now I don't see him. The shell that he was in is still in there, and it's empty. And he's buried himself, so hopefully he'll be okay. But I have a couple of bigger ones that were surrendered before I got the small ones from work. I got the bigger ones, and they're nice and big, and they bury themselves, but they don't bury themselves for very long. They bury themselves, and then they come back up. They like to climb the plant and walk around on the screen top. I'm like, you're going to get stranded up there. Hey, I hear you. I hear you. Shush. But they walk around on the... So maybe that's what he's doing. He came out of his shell so he can molt, maybe. And now he's buried. How big is your enclosure? Mine is a 10-gallon right now, and I've got the two that are bigger and then the two tiny ones. And I know that as they get bigger, I'll have to upgrade the tank. But usually the size will only make a difference in the way of sometimes they won't get along. But my crabs have been fine together. The two smaller ones kind of stuck together before they buried themselves. The two smaller ones would stick together, and then the two bigger ones would stick together. Oh wow, 2 crabs in a shell? My goodness. I'm having a hard time finding shells for my larger ones because... Thank you! Shells are, like, depending on where you get them from, they're not cheap. And I had a hard time finding shells that were a little bit bigger than what mine are currently in. I feel like smaller shells of different sizes are easier to find than the bigger ones. Because I looked on Amazon, and one turbo shell that would have a large opening or whatever for my bigger crabs, they're like $20 each, and I'm like, holy crap, I don't want to spend $20 on a shell. And then you can get the package of bulk shells, and I'm like, why am I going to spend the money on most of these shells I can't even use, you know? Yeah, I have to check out the craft store. I do have some shells. I've got like 4 or 5 shells, I think. A couple large ones and a couple smaller ones, so that there's a couple, excuse me, hiccups. There's a couple for the smaller ones to choose from, although one of my small ones already moved into one, and he moved into one that's kind of almost too big for him. But he's trucking around with it. He preferred that. It was the crab that was in the shell that was too small for him when I got him. Within the hour of bringing him home, he moved out of that shell and into one that is almost the size of what my bigger crabs are in. And I'm like, dude, you're rushing things. But he stayed in it. He wants to stay in it. So whatever, if he wants to move into a bigger one that's less shells, I gotta provide for him. He'll be able to live in that one for a while. Yeah, he did it that fast. Like the shell that he was in was tiny, and even when he was tucked up tight, his feet and his claws were still sticking out, like very much so. He couldn't pull himself all the way in. And yes, literally within the hour that I put him in there, I didn't see it happen, but an hour later I looked and his shell was empty, and I'm like, what? And I'm like, where did he go? And I found him in this bigger shell. It was weird, and it's too big for him. Like when he pulls himself in now, he will completely disappear when he pulls himself in. But he wants to stay in that shell. Yeah, he's like, yay, I could get out of this shell. And now he's been buried for weeks, and I think that he's just like, I could bury myself, because they can't bury themselves at work. They literally have maybe a centimeter thick, centimeter deep of substrate, and it's not humid in there. And I'm like, I'm surprised that they survive in there. I hate that it's shallow, and even the smallest crab can't bury itself. Yeah, he's very comfy now. He can have roommates. It just looks so funny because he's so small, and he drags around this big when he was out anyway. Drags around this big shell. Maybe he's having a really long, well-deserved nap now. He's tired himself out from dragging it around. I have not cleaned it yet since I originally set them up. A lot of my research you can spot clean. Like I'll pick out old food so it doesn't mold, or if I notice any waste, I'll take that out. But a lot of my research said you can go 3 to 6 months without having to totally clean them out. And I've only had them since November. Like I think I got them in November, late November. Let me see. I'm gonna look at my calendar. Or maybe it was longer than that. Or yeah, let's see. Okay, I know I put it in my calendar, so where are they? I got my Pac-Man frog in October. Where is my notification? Oh, yeah, November 30th is when I brought them home. Yep. Hermit crabs came home is what I put in my calendar. So November 30th is when I set them up. Hi. Hello. What you doing? But obviously, when you make plans for, this is when I'm going to do the big cleaning, they're all going to have to be topside. Otherwise, you got to postpone it. Yeah, I love my betta fish. I've got 3 females. I just had one female pass away. I have 3 females, and they're all in the same tank, because females can be housed together. Some are too aggressive. And like, I did have a female that I intended to put in my sorority, and she was just too aggressive, so I didn't put her in there, and I left her alone. At one point, I did have 8 together, and they all did fine. I really didn't have a lot of trouble keeping the sorority. But right now, because I've had deaths happen over time, I've only got 3 in the sorority now. And then I've got 1 male. I did have a few more. They were rescues. But yeah, I got 3 females left. And the females I have are, one's a veil tail, one's a crown tail, and the other one I'm not even positive. They didn't sell her by tail type. And she's not either of the other 2. I'm thinking she's a comb tail from my research, but I'm not positive, and she's the one I've had the longest. She's still going. And then my male that I have is a butterfly. Or, no, he's not a butterfly. He's a half moon. I believe he's a half moon. I can't remember. I get them for their prettiness. I don't get them necessarily for their tail types. Like, I really don't care what tail type they are as long as they're pretty. Females are pretty sweet. Like, they're not as pretty as the males because their fins aren't as long and flowy, but they are still really sweet, and they're interactive as well. And I just think it's really cool. All right, Jules. Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, I'm going to try and do more live streams, at least a couple times a week anyway. I used to go every day, like a while back, a few months ago, I would go every day, but I think I got burnt out. Have a great day. Maybe I'll see you tonight at Mrs. Green Thumbs. Awesome. The days of the week might change just because of my schedule, but this one was just kind of impromptu. Hey, I feel like doing this. Yeah, I hope I see you tonight. Take care. Aw, thank you. I appreciate that. Who have we got that's still here? Don't step on my phone. That's my chat. I can't see. Meow. Really? Are we having a conversation? Meow. Meow, meow. Meow, meow, meow. You don't say. see what we got. What else we got going on the tube today? What else have we got going on the tube? Who's live right now? I'm getting hungry. Not a lot of people. Not a lot of people. Nope. It's a pretty quiet day so far. I've got Girl Scout cookies sitting in front of me, and I really want to eat up the whole thing. I really want to eat the whole thing. All right. Well, I might go ahead and wrap it up because we are slowing down here. But I enjoyed myself. I hope everybody else did too. And I will see you guys in the next one, the next live stream. Bye, everybody.